Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Crypto Tips. My name is Heidi and today I'm going to be talking about what no one is saying about Binance. There's plenty of pros, of course, you probably know those already, that's what Binance want you to know. And there are some cons, especially for those who are new to cryptocurrency in general. And obviously your first experience is probably going to be with a centralized exchange, Binance being a very popular option. I'm going to be talking about what no one is saying about Binance, just so you can have a full picture, have a full perspective of all the risks involved so that you can be a more educated investor and user in this cryptocurrency space. Full disclosure here, I do use Binance, not exclusively, I use other exchanges as well. It has proven itself to be helpful in many different ways. So if by the end of this video you are still interested in exploring what Binance has to offer, I will be following up with a few tutorials on how to use some of the products that they offer for gaining a passive income, something I love to focus on. How it can help you achieve financial freedom in a more easy way, how you can have your money work for you in ways that weren't previously available. So anyway, once you become one of those educated investors by the end of this video, if you're interested, be sure to hit subscribe and like this video, and subscribe with that bell notification turned on so you can get notified when those tutorials are coming out later on this week. You don't want to miss it. So before I start this video, I do want to say this is not a sponsored video. I don't do any sponsored content. Everything I'm talking about is of my own free will. No one is paying me anything to talk about this stuff. Pretty sure Binance wouldn't pay me to make this video. But so anyway, that's kind of what helps me to be as unbiased as possible for videos like this. If you find that I'm talking about any cryptocurrency or any platform specifically, it's not sponsored. It's just because that's what I want to talk about, and I feel like it's something important, or it's just something I'm interested in. On the rare occasion we're talking about a specific cryptocurrency, you might have noticed we've done tutorials on Cardano, on Polkadot, and Solana, a few videos on Solana, just because that's what me and my husband Toby and our friend Hugo are actually genuinely interested in, invested in, and we think you should know about. So that's what you're getting with this channel. Anyway, let's get into it. All right, so believe it or not, I do have some pros for Binance. Again, I use this exchange for a reason. The pros being that the CEO, CZ Binance, you might have heard of him. He's definitely on Twitter. He is pretty advantageous and innovative, and basically he's on the ball when it comes to producing products and services on his exchange that are innovative and help you earn money, basically, on top of just the regular gains that you can get in this bull run, and you know, in any bull run in cryptocurrency in general. Bitcoin has been the best performing asset investment in the past decade, just so you know. It doesn't really matter if it's a specific bull run. If you have a long-term perspective, you're going to make money in crypto if you know how to do it right. Anyway, CZ Binance, for example, was launched in 2017, right when that last bull run was kicking off. So it's still a pretty new exchange if you think about it, only 4 years old, if that, maybe like 3.5, you know what I mean? So a lot of people, it's such a popular exchange now, it's such a powerhouse. A lot of people assume it's been around forever, but that's just not the case. That is something to know as well. Another thing to know is all of these new, especially new products that Binance is you know, streaming out, like lock staking, their savings account, their launch pad, the Binance Vault, the BNB Vault. I'm not sure if all of those are also available to Binance.us users. So just so there's no confusion, I will be doing the tutorials on Binance.com just because that's the exchange that I use. I'm not a US citizen, so I don't have to be limited to Binance.us. I know that there are a few of these products available. So if that's your case, if you are a US citizen, just, you know, do a little research on your exchange and see if these products are also available to you. The very obvious pro for Binance is it's making investing in cryptocurrencies very accessible to a whole lot of other people in a very user-friendly way, especially if you were, like me, interacting with cryptocurrency like 7 years ago, even longer. You know, it wasn't exactly user-friendly back then, especially now if you're even now on decentralized exchanges. It's a lot more convenient. which is why a lot of people are still using centralized exchanges like Binance. And if you're wondering why someone wouldn't want to use a centralized exchange, stick around for when I start talking about the cons. But anyway, again, CZ Binance and these products are launching. Super user-friendly, super easy to earn a passive income. It's pretty much just one click and that's it. It's not completely infallible. There are risks involved, and don't worry, I will get into that. Another pro for Binance, you know, it being a centralized exchange. Centralized exchanges are honeypots for hackers. It's a centralized exchange. They have everyone's funds in a very centralized manner. And if a hacker is clever enough or smart enough, they might be able to get into it. Do a quick DuckDuckGo search on centralized exchange hacks in 2020, 2021, 2019, 2018, 2017, go all the way back to 2014 with Mt. Gox. Just saying that to remind you that it's a very real threat of, the custodianship issues of a centralized exchange. But again, the pro with Binance is at least this one has an insurance fund so that if the hack happens because of their own mess up with security or lax practices, or if it's an employee of theirs that was phished by a hacker and they got into the system that way, and your funds were lost, that insurance fund will reimburse you, so you won't lose anything. But if you specifically, your specific account was hacked because you clicked on a phishing link, you use the same password for every little thing, and it's a very simple password, and your email has been passed around on the dark web a bunch of times, most likely you're going to get hacked as well, and you're going to get a lot of coins stolen. That insurance fund does not cover that situation. I think this insurance fund is a great idea, and I'm kind of surprised to hear that not every centralized exchange has one, but it certainly speaks to how profitable Binance is. And it's just increasing as more and more people are pouring into cryptocurrencies, especially during a bull market like this. So it lends to the success of Binance for sure. Okay, are you guys ready for the cons? I am. So anyway, they're mostly focusing on, you know, the general foundation of a centralized exchange, and more specifically on the CEO of this particular exchange, CZ Binance, just as kind of general headspace. We're gonna get into it. Okay, so first off, the first strike against CZ Binance for me was in 2018, I believe it was. There was a hack on Binance, and I think this was before their insurance fund was put in place. The hack happened, a lot of people lost money, like Bitcoin, and he was comically entertaining the idea of rolling back the Bitcoin blockchain just to reimburse people whose funds were lost because of his own poor security practices or lapse in judgment. Because it's a centralized exchange, that is a risk coming to it. Just the fact that he was entertaining the thought of and willing to disrupt the immutability and really just kind of decimating the immutability of Bitcoin, the most secure, the most immutable blockchain that we have yet, just to cover his own butt, to make up for his own kind of mistakes, that put a huge bad taste in my mouth. And it's something that actually not a lot of people tend to talk about, which kind of blows my mind. That's certainly always in the back of my mind whenever anyone talks about CZ Binance or wants to like praise him or for anything. It's just like, oh, okay, maybe you don't know about what's really happening in his brain. Not to mention the fact that at that point, and at this point now, and well into the future, probably forever, that is not possible to happen. No one, you cannot roll back the Bitcoin blockchain. The network is far too large. It is far too expensive to do so, let alone getting the consensus to do so along the network is not going to happen in time for something like a centralized exchange hack. Anyway, it spoke to a lot of like his hubris and his maybe ignorance in blockchain tech to begin with. But anyway, I digress. Don't worry, there's another thing that he did that pissed me off as well, and I'm going to talk about it right now. It was when he used the users' funds, people who were storing Steam on Binance, because, you know, when you're depositing coins onto a centralized exchange, you were giving that exchange ownership of your coins. You're sending it to someone else. There's little ants all over this freaking camera. And because of that, with that ownership, he had therefore voting power with all of those Steem tokens, and he used that to affect changes on the Steem blockchain without getting permission from these people's whose coins, were should have been assigned to them individually, but because they're stored on a centralized exchange, he had the ownership of it, so he could do it. The morality of that is another question that had to do with him and Justin Sun and Tron and the acquisition of Steem and Inc., and it was a whole big mess. And it wasn't until after he was called out for it that he issued an apology, but still it didn't undo anything. It still happened, and it still, again, proved kind of his intentions for, enjoying centralized power over a blockchain. He's obviously enjoying his power over his own centralized exchange. Obviously, he's really good at making money. That's what he wants to do. Fair enough. But he's not exactly going to be someone I'm going to be singing his praises about what he's actually trying to contribute to this whole cryptocurrency, open source, decentralized, should be decentralized space. Anyway, the next bone I have to pick, or just want to shine some light on what Binance has been doing, especially lately, these products that they're offering to help allow you and a lot of other people to very easily earn a decent passive income using your crypto that's being stored on Binance. But here, I'm going to get into those products in the tutorials. I already told you what I'm going to be doing the tutorials on earlier in this video. Again, lock staking, their savings account, the BNB vault, and I think that also involves the Launchpad. I'm going to be talking about those specifically, but here's just a general concept. Again, this is involving a centralized exchange that is already a honeypot for hackers, and with this incentive model to put even more of your coins onto this exchange and for them to be locked in. For example, the lock staking, it can be between 30, 60, and 90 days, so 1 to 2 to 3 months. Your coins will be locked up and you get a certain percentage paid out to you. If you withdraw your coins early from that, you don't get paid any interest, which is crazy. And there's not really any explanation where the interest does get paid to, who keeps that. Maybe it's more distributed. Anyway, this whole concept of incentivizing people to put more money onto a centralized exchange for a longer period of time, it's something that you need to come to terms with and realize and mitigate at your own for your own best interest of the safety of your coins. What I'm willing to put onto a centralized exchange is very small compared to what I'm really holding totally as crypto, just because it is risky, and I'm not trying to put everything I own on a centralized exchange. I'm not going to put everything I own into one specific coin to be staking on Binance. That's a lot of risk. That's a lot of stress. And additionally, for those of you who are looking at ways to stake your Ethereum, preparing for ETH 2.0, you need to, I don't think a lot of people are aware of this, you should be. That isn't, you can stake your coins now, but if you start staking them now, no matter on any platform that you're using, you will be having your actual Ethereum locked up for at least 2 years. And if Ethereum's anything like I've known it to be the past 5+, 6+, however long it's been in existence, it can take some time for the upgrades to roll out. So it might be even as long as 3 years, who knows? There are some platforms like Binance where if you do choose to stake some Ethereum, I would say some, I would not say stake all of your Ethereum. If you stake some of your Ethereum with them, they issue you Binance ETH or BETH, which is pretty much allows you to, it's pegged to the price of Ethereum, and it allows you to access the liquidity of your Ethereum, and you can still, take advantage of the price movements of Ethereum, but just know that if you, say, spend those coins and you don't have them anymore, you're not going to be getting those original Ethereum back when you are able to, when ETH 2.0 actually rolls out. You will still be accruing interest based on the coins that you have deposited, so you'll have that, but you won't get that plus your initial investment if you no longer have those liquidity tokens that were issued to you from Binance or from whatever platform you're using that issues these type of liquidity coins. So that's just a taste of some of the tips you can get from the tutorials I'm going to go through over Binance. Because if I've learned anything over these past 7 years in crypto, it's that things can move quickly And things can happen fast, basically. And so I think it's cool if you can take advantage of these products that Binance offers, earning some really decent income with your cryptocurrency on top of the price appreciation happening in this bull run. But I think it's really wise to do so while you're also mitigating as much risk as possible. So if you're interested in those videos, again, I suggest that you hit subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to click that bell notification so you can get notified when those tutorials come out, and leave a like so I know that you guys like videos like this. In the meantime, I'll be coming to you again soon, so have a good one.